Okay, guys, and we're back. We're right now live. This big Viv event is literally the bomb. I mean, we're blowing up over here, we're blowing up over there, and I have Eric Bechtold that's going to blow your mind with nuggets and gems from network marketing. So, so many times we look at things one way, but we have to learn from different people. Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Nolan, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you with that big ass microphone you have right there. That is, I was like, that is like a space. Are you there? Can you come in space? So
yes,
everybody can hear you just fine.
All right, cool, man. Cool.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and fork over the reins over to you. Give us, for you guys that are watching right now, get pen and paper, because sometimes it's just one or two things that can change the face of your business. Eric, thank you so much for presenting, and go away with it.
Awesome, Nolan. And I'm going to be going from some notes here as well, which I know we will be cutting back and forth to from time to time, so you can see what I'm looking at. But so excited to be here. It's an honor to have been asked to be here. So I'm super excited. And, I wanted to come to this presentation bringing some nuggets of information that have helped me over the last 20 years. I've been in numerous network marketing ventures over the years and have had a lot of success, but I've also experienced failure along the way, like we all do on our journey to getting from where we're at to where we want to be. So I wanted to dig deep and basically just put myself in a seat. Like I'm sitting there watching this from home. What is it I need to hear, or what could I share with that individual that's going to help you get from where you're at right now to where you want to be? So again, I've been in this industry for 20 years, and I think the first thing I want to talk about is getting your mind right. I think everything starts with your mind, understanding the job before you, understanding what it takes to be successful. And a lot of people, I think, when they get involved in networking, they come at it with this idea that it's like, just something I'm going to do here on the side. You hear a lot of people talk about side hustles and that sort of thing, which is fine, but you got to be realistic with what you want to accomplish with the effort that you're going to put forth in the business. So you really got to get your mind right. And a lot of people, when their minds aren't right, when they're not thinking about what it is they actually need to do, the day-to-day tasks and the thing they need to be doing, they're not consistent in their business. So I think consistency is key, and that's really the first thing that I wanted to touch on. And I think one of the best ways to think about consistency is, remember when you started your Viv business, you started a business. Okay, you actually started this thing as a business. So think about yourself as the number one employee in your business. And when you're thinking about consistency, think about, would you fire yourself or would you promote yourself? This is something I think about. And especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're working from home and you're trying to motivate yourself, a lot of times we lose track of this because we think, oh, well, we can do whatever we want to do. It's our business. We don't really have to put any time into it because we don't have a boss looking over our shoulder. We don't have somebody, telling us to get to work. We don't have a supervisor, that kind of thing. So, you almost have to think about yourself as your own boss and think about yourself as an employee and really just, think about it. Are you putting forth the example of the kind of person that you want to attract? And are you setting a good example for other people that are going to be joining you as well? Because when you're thinking about network marketing, really the beautiful thing about this is you're not going out there and having to hire people. You don't have to go out and do a brick and mortar type of deal where you have to pay rent and get a business and put all this stuff together and then start hiring people and that sort of thing. But every time somebody joins your network, every time somebody signs up and becomes a rep with you, you guys have joined forces, and now you're benefiting from their efforts and they're benefiting from the efforts of the people they bring forth as well. So it is like you're building a company. And if you're not setting a consistency, if you're not setting a good example of consistency and doing what you want them to do, they're not going to follow in your lead. They're going to take it as seriously as you do. So I want you to think about this. If you really want a ton of success, you need to act at a higher level. Okay. So let me give you a little consistency trick, something that's helped me. And I'm going to kind of talk about a couple little tricks here. to help kind of get your mind right and help put you in the right direction here. But one of the things I do, and I know there's book after book after book about time management and, these types of things. I want you to kind of clear your mind of all that stuff because there's so much noise out there, and just think about this one simple activity. Every day at the end of my day, my business day, I'll take a little sticky note, just a normal size sticky note. I should have had one here to show you, but I just take a little sticky note and I write down the 3 things that I want to achieve in my business the next day. All right, 3 things. Now, one of the things, again, about mindset is people always talk about setting goals. You've probably heard all sorts of people talk about goal setting, and you can't hit a target if you don't know what you're aiming at, and all these types of things. I like goal setting as well, but I like to think about the sticky note as not goals, but must-dos, okay? I'm coming to work. I'm going to wake up the next day with purpose because I already have my note ready to go. It's stuck right on my computer screen. And I'm going to see those 3 must-dos for the day, that when I get those boxes checked off and I do those 3 elements that day, get those 3 things done, and you'll do other things throughout the day as well. But as long as you get those 3 things done, you can chalk up that day as a success. And I like to think about the things that are going to move my business forward the most. Those are the things I hierarchy on my list of things to do. So I want to encourage you and challenge you to make your list of 3 things that are must-dos, not goals. Think about New Year's resolutions and everything else. Everybody sets goals to do certain things. Most people have gotten in the habit of breaking their goals or not achieving their goals. And, that's something that happens to a lot of people. So don't think of them as goals. Think of them as missions that have to be accomplished that day in order for you to be successful. Okay. And then knock them out before you call it a day. I'm not going to hang up the hat and say my day is over until I've gone through all of those goals. Okay. Or not those goals, those must-dos. Okay. So now another thing. Again, we're talking about kind of getting your mind right, but we're also talking about consistency. And I think consistency, if you had to ask me what I'm talking about today, it really boils down to having your mind right is going to help you take consistent action, but also knowing the plan that you're going to be doing each day. A lot of people, the reason they're not consistent in their business is they don't know what they should be doing consistently. They haven't really defined what their job looks like. And I think that's a big problem when you don't have somebody handing you tasks and saying, do this or do that. Again, that's kind of the difference between an employee mentality and a CEO mentality, or, you're the boss. You are the boss. So nobody's going to be telling you what to do, but you need to have a plan of action that you're going to be doing each day. Now, those 3 things are good, and you need to have those 3 things that are going to push your business forward and kind of help you grow. But you also have to have kind of core things that you're doing within what I call your system. I'm a big systems guy. I believe that every single person that's working, that's going to actually get from point A to point B, has to have systems in place in order to take consistent action over time. So you need to ask yourself, how am I going to, or what does my system look like for developing customers and consultants? And I call it your process of discovery is the way I look at it. I look at it like, if I'm exposing somebody, what does that exposure process look like? How do they get the information that they need to bridge the gap from just kind of halfway looking at it to getting involved in digesting that information, all the way through to taking action and doing what it is I'm talking about doing. So that's what I call the process of discovery, taking somebody from over here where they don't know anything to, hey, I want to get signed up. Okay. So there's 4 steps in basically, or 4 elements in every process of discovery that I've put together over the years that I've internalized and used to grow my businesses. And I want to break those down for you. Okay. Now, the purpose of this process of discovery is to help your prospects, or first of all, to develop prospects and then help them make an informed decision if they want to get involved in your product or service or not. Okay. Either as a customer or a consultant. So the first element, or the first step in a process of discovery, is introduction. And you can kind of think about this kind of like a first date, right? So how do you initiate interest? How do you get people to go, hey, I want to know more about this thing. I want to take a look at this. and pique their interest enough to get them to take a look at it. And so I think one of the easiest ways to do this is to ask a yes question. Something like, would you be open to the idea of lowering your monthly bills? You know, something very simple. And again, it's a yes question because you're going to get that person to say yes. Now, this yes question could be asked in social media, could be asked individually, you know, person to person, could be asked in a direct mail piece, a flyer, anything, right? I mean, this introduction could happen a number of ways. Some are going to be personal, some are going to be passive. But it's just a way to go, yes, I'd be interested in that. And if you can get somebody to say yes, you get them moving in a direction that's going to lead them to the path you want them to go. Okay. So they say yes. Now, if they say yes, great. My business can do that for you. We negotiate existing bills, and we don't get paid unless we put money in your pockets. Would you like to find out more? Yes. Again, one yes usually leads to another yes. I like yes questions on introductions because it's kind of like getting a ball rolling. Once you have a positive affirmation, the person says, I'm interested, they're more likely to want to know a little more and a little more and a little more. So you're just kind of greasing them up a little bit, getting them moving along so that they'll be willing to digest the information. So that's introduction. The second is supporting evidence. Okay. Think about this like, you know, you're in a trial and you're making a case for why somebody should do this or that. Okay. So supporting evidence. In Viv, we have things like testimonials of savings that people have had, stories of how this has helped them, how this has helped people change their lives. Maybe they were able to save some bills on their, you know, they were able to save some money on their bills and now they're able to take a family vacation they weren't able to take. Certain different things. I like to kind of integrate stories into my supporting evidence, but you can also automate a lot of this. I know here at Viv, we have a great follow-up process with emails that go out once somebody opts in. But remember, people's attention is splintered. And I like to do kind of a trickle effect of supporting evidence so that maybe they're not paying attention this minute, but the next day, maybe they're willing to open up an email. It doesn't give up. It just continues to stay in front of them and continues to put more supporting evidence in front of them. And if you think about the introduction as the first date, think about supporting evidence as kind of building that relationship, building that rapport, piling on the evidence so that at the end of this process of discovery, you want that person to go, you know what? It just makes too much sense. I can't not do this. And so I'm trying to make a case for why this is a great thing that they need to do. And again, a lot of this can be automated through follow-up emails. And the more you can automate your business, again, if you're spending most of your time just doing introductions, I think you're spending your time in the right place. Make sure you have a good process of discovery that's doing the heavy lifting for you and doing some of this other stuff automatically for you, which I know we already have here at Viv, and we're going to be going over that during this convention as well. And number 3, something a lot of people don't do, and I think it's a horrible mistake, and you should write down, not to make this mistake, write this down on your piece of paper so you don't do this. It's a clear call to action. The third element of an actual process of discovery is having a clear call to action. Where do your prospects go to take action? And are you making it easy for people to take action? And then lastly, are you asking them to take action? And you've probably heard this from a lot of sales trainers and things. You know, a lot of people will kind of tippy-toe around, oh, let me tell you about my product or what I'm doing, but they'll never go, so are you ready to get started? So even as you're doing supporting information and as you're doing this, as they get the information that they need, always give them the avenue of taking action at that point. You know, during a process of discovery, you're never going to know exactly what bit of information pushed that person over the edge, what made them actually want to do it. But people buy on compulsion a lot of times. You know, they're just like, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm motivated. I'm excited. And if they don't have a call to action in front of them that they can do right then and there, they might change their mind 10 minutes later. And if it's not easy for them, they're not going to take action. So ask people to take action. This is another thing you can do too. If you are following up with people individually, as you're giving them supporting evidence, you know, everybody's process of discovery will be a little bit different depending on what you're comfortable with or whatever you're, you know, the individuals you're working with, your upline should be able to help you kind of understand what their process is and how you can emulate it. But you might be following up with somebody and you're not actually asking them, okay, great. Well, it sounds like you want to save some money on your bills. Are you ready to get started? Can we start uploading your bills today? Yes. Again, they've been looking at it. They've already been going through a process of discovery. They've been digesting some information. Now ask them to actually do what it is you're talking about. Okay. And again, a lot of people fall down there. They just don't pay attention to that very important element of a process of discovery, which is a clear and concise call to action. Ask for their business, ask them to take action. Otherwise, we're just wasting each other's time. Okay. And then finally, the fourth element of a good process of discovery is what happens after the fact: customer service. Okay. You want everybody to have a beautiful experience with our product. And at Viv, we have this advantage over most programs and products and things that you'll see out there, because our product is putting real money in people's pockets from things they're already paying money on. We're not asking them to open up their wallet and pay for a bunch of stuff that they don't already need. Through our bill negotiation process, through Autopilot, all we're doing is putting more money in people's pockets. So, at the end of the month, if they want more money in their pockets, that's what our product does. So it's a beautiful situation, and it's easier to have a good customer experience if you're offering real value. And that's why I'm kind of pointing out what we do here, because again, there's a lot of programs out there where you have to kind of push benefits a lot. You really have to kind of educate people on what it is that you're doing or selling. And it's harder to make that customer experience good, because really here, all we have to do is what we're telling them we're going to do. We negotiate their bills. If we're not able to actually save them money, they don't pay us anything. But I want you to think about how you talk to your customers when they come aboard, getting in touch with them. When you see customers come in and people are looking at this, make sure you get on the phone with people. Hey, I see you uploaded a bill. Was there anything did you struggle with that process? Would you need some help getting some other bills in the system? Same thing with consultants. Hey, let's get your business launched. Let's get you off and running. Let me help you. I'm part of your organization. I'll be here to help you along the way. What can I do to make your life easier? These are the types of things that make for a good customer experience, both on the consultant side and, just the retail customer side that's utilizing the product. But think about it. Again, it's going to kind of set the tone and build relationships with the new people that are coming in and the people that are actually putting money in your pockets. If you want your customers to be around a long time, if you want them to refer other people to you, which is another thing that's going to happen with good customer service and giving people a good experience, is they're going to go out and start talking to other people. And I want you to think about that. There's a thing called stored energy that I love and I tap into as much as I can in my business. And that is the relationships, all of the things that these other people have access to, all of these touch points that other people have access to. If you give them a good experience, they're going to want to spread the word and go out and put it out there. So maybe you bring a consultant on that has a big email list. Maybe they have a lot of social media followers, whatever. They're going to tap that stored energy, and you're going to get more people coming in and taking a look, and you benefit as your team members grow and as people receive value. So those are the four elements of a good process of discovery: introduction, supporting evidence, a clear call to action, and good customer service on the back end. If you don't have this drilled into your head, because again, consistency, remember, is the theme of this talk. If you don't have these four elements in your head of how you handle this, you need to get with your sponsor, get with the person that helped you discover this amazing program, and ask them, what is the way we handle everything from introduction all the way through to customer service on the back end, and have them detail out exactly what they're doing so you can drill it in your head. Because the more you understand your system, the more consistent you're going to be over time, helping people go through that process. And once you systematize things and have it in your head, it just makes it that much easier, because you know what your job is and you know exactly what you have to do. And just remember, a good experience equals referrals. And that's the four elements of a process of discovery. I only had about 20 minutes to share with you guys, and I think I'm right up against my time clock here, but so thrilled to have been here. I hope you got some value out of this. And Nolan, I'll throw it back over to you, buddy.
Man, Eric, I absolutely love the information that you gave. So many times we have so many books, we have so much insight, and everybody has their opinions of what worked for them. And people are always searching for what's going to work. You simplified it, gave basic 4 tips, and I absolutely appreciate you, man. Kudos to you, sir. Kudos to you. Hey, I want to let's get back to this summit. We're out here rocking and rolling right here. You're watching this Viv event live, and we'll be right back.